from Spotify, which is a Swedish company, by the way. Sweden is very much part of this, a strategic note of the killing of the music industry as we know it. It doesn't bother me because we can play in our bedrooms. We can meet up and have a play, just like the early days of the rock revolution in swing in London. They would just go to the clubs, and then there's Jimmy Page sitting there. There's Eric Clapton on a bar stool. I said, hey, let's have a play. And then say, hey, there's a guy from America. His name's Jimi Hendrix. That was the scene. It grew organically from a bunch of post-war babies, Pete Townsend, all of them, who said, man, we want to make music. We want to express ourselves. So we're at that juncture right now.
Right, there's 20 minutes left. Are you okay to take some questions from the viewers?
Absolutely. I love this part.
All right, get your viewers' questions in, please, folks. And I'm curious about this one. What's your opinion on the helicopter and airplane crash in New Jersey?
I think it was a signal to the Trump administration that he better watch his six, right? They're coming after him with helicopters, drones. It's going to be some sort of airborne aerial, some sort of aerial attack. So I don't think it was an accident.
All those strange drones that was out prior to Trump coming in, what was your interpretation of that?
I think that was partly to make us look up in the sky, look away by looking up, but also sending a warning, right? All this, it's all about the timing, right? When is this happening? Pre-inauguration and Trump's coming in. They don't want to celebrate his greatest comeback in American political history, his intelligent and beautifully striking wife, who came in. I did the talk with Lena Poo on my recent one. She breaks down the whole semiotics, the signs of her wardrobe, which the message she's sending out. But she is on a mission, you know. Her brim was pulled down here. You didn't see her eyes. She's coming after these people. Right? It's going to be a really interesting 2025, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, let me just correct that. The plane crash was DC, not New Jersey. All right, so Vanessa, hi, Professor. Love this show. Do you think Elvis Presley was unalived?
No, well, he had a personal physician who was feeding him all kinds of narcotics. I think he was being controlled, like a lot of these other celebrities, by his management, which was not just Colonel Parker, but the whole, I think it was RCA that owned a lot of his catalog. So not deliberately assassinated, but he was kind of put down that path because he was at a certain point, he was alive. He was worth more dead than alive, his catalog. And it was interesting to see who owns the Elvis Presley recording catalog. It's going to be some attorney in New York City, guaranteed. Fusion centers.
Again, it's like
I would argue
they bring these doctors in, don't they? And they give them the meds, and there's never an inquiry. It's just the guy's died. It's like the ideal way to unalive someone because there's no investigation, there's nothing. It's yeah. So Naranjit is saying, what does the professor think about fusion centers and undercover roles? What's a fusion center?
Well, fusion centers were set up as regional spy nodes for the intelligence agencies in America and the other Five Eyes countries as part of the British Commonwealth. They're set up all over. What people don't understand is fusion centers, the major research universities are acting as fusion centers, gathering intelligence. For one, they are getting all the latest research on AI being produced by Indian students and Chinese students primarily for their professors, who are then later on disposed of and their patents are stolen and they're murdered so that they can create the next wave of technology. That's the fusion center. And they also, on the other hand, create DEI, critical race studies, queer studies, in order to deflect what's really going on at these fusion centers, which are universities, which is this next wave technology, which is meant for enslavement, human enslavement, not liberation. We need to very quickly in 2025 fall out of love with Elon Musk. I think it's imperative that we start getting beyond this initial wave, getting into the honeymoon period. We need to get back on track and look at him and other figures critically. These are all going to be integrated within communities, fusion centers. That's part of the model.
Yeah, David Icke is not happy with Elon Musk or Trump. And, Elon's helped my life regarding Twitter. I'm not shadow banned anymore. And Trump's helped my life regarding freedom of speech. We saw, he said we can't be punished. I did get a few days later, I got a strike on Facebook.
There you go.
Tashel is saying, can you give us the lowdown on Elon?
Well, again, there's no one man, one person, one institution that can confer protection or our God-given rights. That belongs to us. Right. Elon Musk is not going to be, Trump is not going to be like, we can temporarily enjoy some of the privilege that they confer on us. But who are they? They can't confer anything on anybody. Only God can. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Let's
we need
keep
to
going,
fall out of love.
There's a lot of questions. They're coming in thick and fast. Why is RFK's family going after him so hard?
I was disappointed, but not surprised that his cousin Caroline Kennedy came after him. At a certain point, that part of the Kennedy family and RFK Jr. himself got the message, and that is that you work for us. We don't care how rich and wealthy and powerful it is. You're going to toe the line. You saw what happened in the case of your uncle and your own father. So his act of political expression, trying to become the head of the Health and Human Services in the U.S. is such a great act of political courage. And the other Kennedys have lost that. They lost that original hustler, desperate streak of the early Irish immigrants. They became assimilated and part of the establishment.
They think that the deep state is all powerful and they've cowed down. Is that it?
That's it. RFK.
Do you think?
No.
Do you think we are near to the end of the world? Have you watched the Doomsday Clock lately?
No. Are we getting closer?
I think it's 59 seconds. It's the closest it's ever been. It just got moved.
Well,
I'll check that.
I've been to Hiroshima several times. I live outside of it. I lived outside of Okinawa. I've seen some of the most incredible battle sites that were always threatening to end civilization. And although the threat is real, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. So don't worry about it. Let's worry about the problems that we can handle in our own lives by addressing these questions that Mr. Atwood is raising day to day in his show. This is all going into the creation of an enlightened and informed electorate, a population. And that's the biggest threat to the establishment of all. So I don't think that'd be too easy. It's not going to end.
89 seconds to midnight.
Yeah, I never had put much store in the so-called Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. They need to be checked into. Who are they and what is it? All of these institutions, all these journals, all these publishers, all these movie makers, they're cut out of the same cloth. They need to be looked at. But anyway, people are free to believe whatever they want.
When are things ever going to be fair?
Never, and that's why we have job security. Yeah, but that's such a weak question. I'm sorry, I apologize, but that's a weak question. Yeah, come on, man. Another one I hate. Are you scared that you're gonna be killed by the Illuminati? Yeah, that's a projection of your own fright, your own insecurity, and your own timidity, and we don't have time for that anymore. We're past that, right? I mean, Donald Trump took a bullet. That's gangster, man.
And jumped up. And jumped up right
Yeah, he jumped up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." So stop asking the weak questions.
Who is Harvey Pasternak?
Well, he was one of these controllers. He was a Canadian national, and he's connected with Mossy. You know, I'm going to use that code term so that this video stays up. And he was in there to feed his Mark the lithium and say, "Listen, you know, if you don't play it our way," goes back to the 1930s extortion racket. Right? I have this great book. And by the way, it's done in Asia too. The whole Asian K-pop industry